just a picture of quarry. Uh, one person compared it to the sea bottom landscape map of Black Sea. So it looks pretty much the same, right?
Right. Oh wow.
This is what we also saw near Cuba, Puerto Rico, and way down to Venezuela, which also has a bunch of evidence of oil sands, and the oil sands are the byproduct of undersea, underwater mining, actually. So if they mined like this and threw all this sand uh, on the coast, that's how Venezuela got all these oil sands. Also, we had pictures of those strange forts, which have not only the star-shaped angles, right? So I'd like to share some with people. So I'll probably make a review on them later on. But as we can see, they have round angles sometimes, right?
Right.
And look a little bit different. So I was thinking about this energy shield, which could be used in those shapes so they can be performing all these frequencies. And they also have rivers sometimes close to it. So rivers could be like a power lines or frequency, transmitters, because they didn't have wires, so they supposed to
Yeah.
transmit it via high frequency signals, and
Absolutely.
those high
And you
frequency
can convert,
signals.
and you can convert energy from water too as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we think that they supposed to collect the energy, and what if they didn't? What if they just used the energy? So you have the device that you can turn on, and you don't care how does it gets this power, collects it or not collects it. Power is everywhere, so energy is everywhere. So you just turn on your device if you're in the range of this field, because you have to be in the range, of course. If you're not
Right.
in the range, you can't turn on your device. That's how all those devices are useless right now, because the frequency range is off. So it's like we have all those devices. We look at them and we think it's something else. Like I don't know. You think I think you understand what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Exactly. What you're talking about. Interesting.
So you can't turn it on right now because the
You don't know what it
frequency
is.
range is off, and you are not in this,
Right.
field, energy field. So many of those shapes look round. So round is also referring me to what Tesla did in his towers. He had all those round, I don't know, heads or whatever on the tower tops.
Right.
So they could have inside this armor, which could be made of steel or some any kind of metal, like, and uh, could be producing all those frequencies also. So the building itself also is round in this case. So as we can see, it has a very thick walls, and also could be having inside metal. How do you call it? Armor and whatever, right? So it could be used for energy fields.
Right.
Another example. This is more like complex building, as you can see. So it has the same type of structure. One tower, which doesn't have the dome right now, but it could be having it. Maybe it was demolished or something.
Right.
Have the round one as we had here, right? Tower and a round one, big one. So probably it has some points to convince people that it could be used as energy field generators, whatever,
Oh
right?
wow. Yeah. Could have been the
This is how
shield.
it,
Yeah.
They also have octagon and hexagon type of structures. This is the view from inside, from the fisheye lens, but this is from the aerial view. Also, some structure of some signals. As you can see, the small towers are also octagon, right?
Nice.
Very interesting structure.
A lot of
So,
this geometry too. That
yeah, I mean, we looking only at the starforts, but most of those buildings are in one site, and we can just think it's some crazy building, but it's not. Maybe it was a device or something, right? Let's see. I wanted to turn down a little of your mic because we see some interference. I hear some interference. Also, next one, round one, right? Probably demolished part of this here, which we don't see, and maybe some structure over here. But also looks like a wall or something which was made from the ground first. Maybe it was some technical device. I don't think it's this color actually, because as we can see here, we have red brick. Probably it was so old, so it looks like this. Another one, interesting shape. Also round structures on the small towers, which are set like half circle and a huge circle in the central one. Also near the water has some type of connection types of stuff, so could be used as a energy field. And this is a plan of it. Very interesting. They put guns and cannons. I think this is the cannons, for example, as they could have been using it. But literally, we've been measuring all those distances that don't make any sense.
yeah, that's to
Actually,
misrepresent. Those cannons are there, placed at a later time, and also too is I think that the people who took over these fortresses and this real estate, they didn't know what these star forts were for either, and they figured that they were for fortresses or and they didn't know, and they used them, and they later put these cannons there. Because let me tell you something: if I was in a war, I wouldn't want to be on no star fort. I mean, you could easily be surrounded,
yep.
and that's just not a good,
Smoke-
position to be.
you could easily be smoked out of there. So
Right.
you can smoke is a huge weapon for this, Star Force. So just a couple of days of smoking you out, and you'll be dead.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You're getting hit from all directions. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So I think they were used for something. Matter of fact, I'm 100% positive they were used for different things. And but yeah,
Very interesting.
look at that. It's definitely some
It's,
type of power
it's like
station.
a hexagon,
Look at
uh,
that.
but it has round
Right.
angles,
And I would
and the
consider that
image,
still a star fort, right?
yeah, good,
Oh,
similar, similar. We just, yeah, I mean, we watching all those sharp angles, we watching at those star-shaped angles, but we don't see this. This is why I'm showing this to people so they can understand that nothing is strange as it looks. So it's like a technical device.
yeah, it does, man. It does. And I think that we just don't know. I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about maybe a force field over top of that. I mean, just just the feat in engineering, man, and just the reasoning for building those at that time. It's just you can't I can't even fathom you can't wrap your head around it. Most people can't. So you have to take that like these were they could have been for something that we just can't understand.
Yeah.
You can't understand them. If we're talking about maybe a grid that displaces a power grid and they were all over, or they were connected to the power grid, or they were given power, or giving off some type of vibrations to make the food grow bigger, to make everything bigger, or to whatever. We know they build buildings for with a different type of acoustics to resonate frequencies and sounds. I mean, shit. What are
Um,
we doing?
what I see the reason is why are they looking like this? Because maybe if you understand, if there's a lot of local tribes which could be hunting you because you look like a food for them, right? Possible food, at least they can steal from you, they can take your woman's and stuff like this. So if you're civilized, you make some type of fort with the energy field, so those people can't enter your space, like a mosquito catcher or something like this, like invisible screen of those guys just can and do all your activities underground. This is what this gravure shows, that huge undergrounds were found by those who we know as our civilization. They just, what are they doing is like, walking around those ruins, and those ruins are underground, as you can see.
Right.
And uh, they literally look very fantastic because nobody can perform something like this.
I
And
know.
ruins,
They call them, they call them, they have the nerve to call them too. Oh, ancient wine cellars or something like that. Like,
they use them for wineries, of
yeah,
course,
real
but
wineries. Yeah, fuck
But
off.
those, but those tunnels could be used as like anything. Like we've been talking about the dolphins, how they transfer information through the water, and we can also see have a acoustic wavelengths, right? That you also are not hearable but our ears, but because we have a low level of frequencies, but could be used as low frequencies, below frequencies. You DJing, yeah, we have a bunch of frequencies that we can't hear, but we can use them to transfer information, and we can use them for long distance, just like dolphins. So all those tunnels that could be found worldwide are connected to each other. So that's how people transfer immediately all the information with big amounts of information.
Yes.
And the idea of pneumatic transportation through those tunnels is also can be accepted right now, because we see some pictures in 19th century that they used some of those technologies trying to recreate those pneumatic trains and all this stuff, pneumatic mail and all this stuff. So it was used, and so those tunnels could be used, and they could be performed in ancient times before the flood, of course.
And look how big
Before
they are, man. Look how big they are. I mean, one could argue that, bigger people, made these tunnels.
when you create such type of cities, like around cities, right? You're supposed to be understanding that it has a river or some type of channel around it. So it's like Asian, of course, but it could be used as an energy field generator. Because
Yep.
no matter how big is the city, the plunder is still in. So if you want to get the plunder, you get it. So you bring as much troops as you can, and you break in and you kill everybody. So it doesn't help actually. So, and all those pathetic medieval technologies that they show us in the museums just don't work actually. We should be making videos on that soon after we finish with Starforts or this mudflood. We should be debunking all those medieval technologies like medieval clothes, medieval weapons, medieval armories, and shields and all this.
Yeah.
So all this stuff is fake. It's all fake. It wasn't used as they told us. I've been
Right.
trying to talk about this in one of my videos about those energy swords and all this stuff. So
I swords, right?
yeah, they lied to us, guys. Actually, they lied to us, and the amount of work that they could be doing
Yeah,
during
that's a
that
quarry. That
time.
looks like a quarry, man.
Yeah, it
That looks
shows
like
us
a quarry.
how advanced they were at that time. We are just insects with their technologies, you know.
Oh yeah, we'll also talk about bigger people too, man. You know, I know a lot of people don't like thinking about that and talking about that, but we're talking about bigger people, Philip.
Bigger
We,
people, because bigger people, the traces of bigger people, we saw in Patagonia, in Argentina, right? Where we see these maps where the big people are painted. It's like the land of giants in Argentina and Patagonia. It's South America.
Philip, what's going on, man? What are we looking at, buddy?
This is Detroit, 38
I see
story
some
tower.
Tartarian. I see some Tartarian shit, man.
Yeah,
Mm.
I just wanted to show this picture. Actually, guy, like he was rebuilding his floor on
Right.
his it's a one-story building as he was thinking. When he
Okay.
ripped off his floor, he saw this window
Sub level.
underneath, and also I can see the arch over here. You see the arch?
Yes, it's sub level. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
mud flood. Absolutely.
He thought it was a one-story building, but it's actually not. This is how it looks from. So it was just a one-story building. So we have so many of them, and just each and every
What's up?
one needs.
No, there's no evidence. Oh, they built that way. Shut up. That building is sub level. It's underground. They didn't build. Something happened.
It doesn't even have the bird windows, so you don't even see them. So
Just stupid.
because they all on the ground, all
Right.
on the ground. So probably it's very interesting. So as
That's
what people see here, also we see
yeah. Sub level.
they they made all those ugly
Into the
stairs.
yeah.
Yeah, and this is the right now. It has like a star shaped uh, octagon
Right.
side, but it's a Jewish how do you
Right.
call it? Synagogue in Tennessee. It was demolished in 1950s,
Well,
something
it
like
probably was turned into a Jewish, synagogue. Do you see? That's where the star. That's where the cymatic pattern was.
who
It's like
knows?
about
Who knows? It's like 1879, the year of construction, but as you
yeah.
can see, it could be using the previous construction and upgrading it to a synagogue or whatever. So
Philip, man, what kind of place was this place? Where everything was built in the 1800s. I mean, everything was invented in the 1800s. It was building. What kind of money did they have in the 18? Wow, it's just
I
unbelievable.
mean, this is the beginning of 1900s, and they still had technology to move the houses, the entire houses, while people living in houses. So it's like very interesting.
Oh. If you can see, so this is just a famous Palacio Bucolion wall map or whatever here. It's located close to the embankment. And here's the sea over here. So as you can see, it's like an ancient wall, something like this, with some bricks and blocks. And also we see these arches here. Um, so it's like pretty much long. And as you can see, we have some white squares here, which look like windows. And also we can see that the upper floor is performed in a red brick. Do you see what I'm presenting?
Yes.
Yes, it's in Istanbul. It's a pretty famous place. As you can see, it's like has like some type of buried windows on the lower floor. So it's like everywhere you go, you can find those evidence. Like today, I was searching through the cities nearby Moscow,
Right.
and also uh, just clicked on the map and just found like the first museum that I found here is like museum of some kind of yeah, this one. So it's like all the museums are located near some specific, not this one, probably not this one. All the museums located near some interesting sites, and most of them are buried and have those buried windows. Like, well, here it is, finally. So, like, here's the entrance to the museum. Very funny, right?
Look at that. Mud flutter. Classic mud flutter.
So you go there forward to the street and you find this pretty much interesting thing also here. Tartarian style tower or something like this. You have the house nearby with the buried windows here bricked up right now.
Yeah.
Like you go further street, you have this red brick church with the entrance on the sides, two entrances, which are right now hanging in the air. As you can see, no ladder or something here. Also, we can see from this side the same stuff. Bird windows, the door that's hanging in the air, no ladder or something, no stairs. And like the main entrance is right now from the other side,
right
from here. Also with the ladder, so it's probably rebuilt here.
Yeah, it's that Tartarian brick. They're faking everything. They're not. It's not. They're not doing all stuff. Think about it. Name one thing they did for the humanity, for the civilization. Nothing, man. These people, and they're robbing us. Look at this, and they would have us believe that's real, man. You know, it's mind.
Yeah, look at this thing. How is it gonna be flying, right? Where are the engines?
Right. Think about it. If they was able to go to the moon, we would have hotels. We had bases there. Man, it would be nightclubs. It'd be, come on, man. Are you kidding me? They would have tours, everything, man. Why do you think all their rocket programs fell? You can't go up there, man. It's a dome, man. We live in a dome. We live in a special place, man. This place is supernatural, baby. Okay? All right? That's what they don't want you to know. It's supernatural, man. Okay?
Yeah, I want you to one guy like he's on a Russian segment of mudflood research, but not only mudflood research. He's like a bunch of stuff.
Right.
So like today I got his video, watched his video. So let me show you. Yeah. His name is Tyler Durden. His like nickname. And he was reading his comments like about different stuff. So the first thing he said, like he got a comment that some Russian oligarch got a contract with some company from Switzerland, right. I think.
I know exactly what that is. Mm-hmm.
To excavate those tunnels, right? And so he's like showing those pictures. No, they're not like, this is the guy, a Russian oligarch.
Right.
And he's like reading that those tunnels are not as simple as what we can find right now worldwide. Those catacombs and all this stuff that are really simple. So those tunnels are like huge. And they have underground cities. For what? And here's the idea of Brian Austin Lambert about those electromagnetic stuff and all these catastrophes, right? And the this issue about some parallel and stuff. And this guy is not talking about parallel. He's like saying whatever the place is, they just bomb the hell out of this world. In fact, it could be any reason. In fact, it could be even flat Earth. When people find out that they're spending money on bullshit, like people start raising up and trying to,
Yeah,
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 to
people are waking
rebel
up, man. That's why I said,
and
because
ask.
well, Philip, I
So
don't mean to cut you off, man, but look, that's why this is so important, man. Because once you wake up to this is the mother of all lies. Flat Earth is the mother of all lies. I mean, it's the mother. It's the biggest lie ever told. Because you lie about what's underneath our feet, and then come and think about it, it's the truth. Because like I'm gonna be honest with you, Philip, like people who know me, I try to debunk the flat Earth. I thought it was the most absurd shit I ever heard in my life. And it pissed me off. It pissed me off so much. I said, I'm going to debunk this shit. That's just a problem right now. People walk around thinking that the earth is flat. It pissed me off. I was a NASA fanboy. I wanted to go to Mars. I was a selfish asshole spinning around on a spinning ball, in outer space, man. So when I woke up to this, it changed me overnight because I was always a good person, but it made me even a better person, Phil. You know what I mean? I wake up every day to be the best person I can be and try to just give back and just be, and I have a better understanding of what's going on. It matters because now that, these assholes done pushed the heavens so further back, you know what I mean? And made the Heavenly Father, further than what he really is. And he's always up there watching us. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking it's like some type of,
you know
boy with an ant farm. You know what I mean? Kind of like.
on the other hand, we have those parasitic controllers that don't want us to contact our creator
Yes.
without any
Yes.
without any supporters, right?
Yes.
So-called supporters, but they actually the parasites of us.
Right. That's why they slip in religions.
So they're digging up those tunnels to create those safe zones where they can stick for around a couple of 100 years and then come up and show us some pictures like this is what they're gonna do to us, and then we have like Stone Age. They're gonna show up and say like we are some type of spaceman researchers and like this, right?
Right.
Like this, like this, like this.
Right. We're from Pluto. Right.
And they have like this stuff on above their head because they are like not breathing those nuclear wasted and chemical weapons wasted.
What about that? Yeah, it's all right.
Right? And they're like, checking out if it's okay or not to live there, put their puppets so they can create the weather, atmosphere, and all this terraforming for them, cleaning up the streets and all this, cleaning up the waste. And then they come out and govern us again for another 200-300 years, and then do it again.
Right. Unbelievable.
So, and they can, take any and say, I'm the God, or I'm the angel, I'm the devil.
Yes.
They can, fool everybody because they really got all these technologies like, flying wings and all this, maybe flying boards or jet planes. And you are in the Stone Age. You don't even know what the f is going on, man.
Yeah. That's crazy. Right. And they just they'll just add a New Testament to the Bible.
Yeah, and they create religions, and that's why all the religions
right now, no bullshit, man. That's what we're dealing with, folks. Shit, we're dealing with evil. So
that's why all those religions are always doubling itself, and like the same story each time, like
Come to find out, because you gotta remember, Philip. Our history is come to find out is a bunch of lies. we were taught that, our ancient ancestors built these grand temples and they lived in caves. And, they wasn't that smart and we evolved from monkeys and all kind of bunch of nonsense that we were taught. And when you come to find out with these star forts and you're like, well, if our ancients built this, because we didn't build this, we didn't build this in our civilization, not in our time.
Yeah, hi guys, everybody in the chat. Dennis Alcorn says a lot of Indian burial mounds are star forts.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we should check it. Dennis Alcorn, if you have some time, maybe find in the channel description my email and send me some evidence of that.
Yeah.
Many old cities in Croatia are around star forts. Yes, of course, because star forts could be used as gas stations. So why not? Star is also a code symbol in representing man. Perhaps dimensional ports. Yes, we've been talking about it, and Richard also wants to talk about the tunnels and the connection in the logistics.
Yeah, we're going to go over that in the next episode, Connecting the Dots. Go heavy into that because that's one of the main things that's fascinating too. Come to find out that these star forts were connected to each other. They're underground. So it seemed like these things had a couple of purposes. I'm trying to figure out what was the main purpose and why were they built all over the world. So, and if they were built by all over the world and there's star forts all over the world, that means there was a worldwide civilization in sync with one another. They were going, they were traveling. It was this very, very technological advanced civilization that we're dealing with here.